Did the way that these two family members died affect your feelings about Carole Mitchell?
I'm probably just a worrier in general. And yeah, when you've seen bad things happen, especially like for my mom, I worry about my mom, but my stepdad's there. For Carole, she was on her own, and there were a lot of things going on, and it was really hard not to see things that were kind of the worst case scenario happen to other people and not think like that couldn't happen to this person too.
Do you remember the date that your father's ashes were interred?
March 19th of 2024.
Did you attend the interment?
I did not.
Were you invited to attend?
I was.
By whom?
Carole Mitchell.
Can you tell us a little bit more about why you didn't attend if you were invited?
So, about a week and a half before, with the anniversary of Dad's passing coming up, I knew it was going to be hard for all of us. And I wanted to make sure that Carole had support. But it was also going to be that same week at work where it was almost impossible for me to get away. I shouldn't say almost impossible. Like, if I wasn't there, things I'd been working on would not get done. That year, my biggest thing was I'd taken over a child protection task force, and we'd worked on a lot of things for hopefully to help kids. And there just wasn't any way I could be there that day. But the next week was Easter, the next week, the Friday was Good Friday, and then Easter was the Sunday. And the boys were going to be off, and so I believe I'd said something about like I can't get up that day because that year it fell on a Tuesday, but I could come up, the weekends or the next week. We would be in town. I would be the boys would be there too, and then we could all do a visit. And I don't remember if it was that conversation or a different one, but I'd also asked about the ashes, and at some point she had told me the ground was too frozen and that wasn't going to be until April.
So what happened once this conflict was identified? Conflict in schedule, right? You're not able to come up on the date that it's set. What happens? So in the original conversation, the internment wasn't supposed to happen until April. And then, so the anniversary was on a Tuesday, and I believe it was Friday, she texts and says that it's going to happen on that Tuesday. And it would have been almost impossible for me to get off, but especially with only 2 business days of notice, there was just no way, because it wasn't just my schedule, it was like everyone's schedule that week. And so I know I said well, that wasn't a day I could be available. Is there maybe another day we could do it? And I know that Friday was in my head because the boys would be off school, I would already be in town, all the things. And I think she said that was the only day they could even do it. And that sounded weird, that would be the only day they could do it. And I thought she was confused. So I actually called the cemetery and the caretaker and said, just asking, are there other days available? I know it's Good Friday. Would that day be available if it worked? He had said that day would actually work really well. So by that time, I was putting most of my stuff in writing to Carole, texts or letters.
So,
So it was a text.
and did you take screenshots of those text messages?
I did.
And did you provide those screenshots to your attorneys?
I did.
Your Honor, I'm going to be showing you what's been marked as Exhibits 243 through 271. There's a lot of those, Your Honor, so I don't want to read each of those numbers individually. 243 to 271. It'll be up on your screen, and this one, since there's so many, we'll try to have Mr. Keller help out sort of this batch production. So go ahead and let me know when we move them around. Oh, yeah, you should have to read them. Oh. We're waiting for it to go up to the... Yeah, we have requested it. It says, yep, request in progress.
No, it's just not showing on the screen.
Okay, now it should be up. I apologize. Our computer was not plugged in. Be ready to move.
I confirm.
Okay.
Confirm.
You've seen it? Okay.
I confirm. 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 I confirm.
Is that a complete and accurate representation of your conversation with Carole Mitchell on March 10th, 11th, and 15th of 2024?
Yes.
Have those screenshots ever been altered?
No.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer Exhibits 243 to 271 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Mr. McDonald.
No objection.
All right, then Exhibits 243 through 271 are received, and you may publish.
So, as you could tell, there are a lot of individual exhibits because of the way screenshots work. And so it's going to be a little clunky with the technology because we have to have two screens open to carry them all on the tabs. And so I also apologize that I had you testify a little bit about the content of this before. So please orient the jury about the colors, and then let's read these text messages, and we'll do our best to keep them in order.
So this is between myself and Carole Mitchell, and I am in green and she is in gray. And then start reading.
Yes, please.
The first is Sunday, March 10th.
And just, you don't, because there is going to be
Okay.
so many, let's not do the dates and times. We can just read them, please.
Okay. Which would have been 2024. Hello, I hope you're well and enjoying the sunshine. Last fall, when you went with me to that radio station, you pointed out the cemetery where you bought plots for you and Dad. With the anniversary of his death approaching, I was hoping I could get up in the next week or two and you could take me there. But we have legislative deadlines in 2 weeks and it's so busy, I'm even working on weekends. I was hoping maybe I could come with the boys March 29th when we're already on the way north for Easter. Visits Dad's grave, then maybe visit and lunch. We all miss you, and the boys have asked about you. Much love. Oh, I'm sorry. I would think that would work out fine on March 29th. I do not have my calendar in I think, front of me as I am having breakfast buffet at the Holiday Inn at the moment. I may have to run another couple miles at the gym today. Just came from there to eat the buffet.
And let me just stop. Please make sure you indicate that that's Carole Mitchell.
Sorry,
That's okay.
that was Carole. Me, that sounds delicious. We're going to the gym later too, but so the boys can play in the pool. Not as much workout for me, but lots of fun for them. Carole, the next day, March 11th. I called both Oak Grove Cemetery and Nest Granite Works, and they are telling me that it is most likely the ground is frozen enough that it will be April before everything is ready for the internment. Is that the right word? Well, anyway, the guy said he will call me when I can bring Rod's ashes out to him. Me. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about you as we have a testifier right now in my Human Services Committee who just drove in from DL. Carole, smiley face. Me. You told me about the cemetery, but I wasn't aware. I was aware Dad wasn't interned yet. Please keep me posted when that happens. Carole, I sure will. And I have a small amount of his ashes and a little gone fishing bobber for you. Me, oh great. Maybe we could still come by that Friday, March 29th, to visit his ashes or get the bobber and have a quick visit / lunch. Sam and Liam are getting into fishing. The bobber idea is lovely hearts. Carole, you can also take all or whatever you want of your father's fishing gear. The boys will grow into it maybe. They must have heard fishing stories from Grandpa. I believe that day is open. I will let you know soon. Me, wonderful. Friday, March 15th. Good morning. The Donauer Funeral Home called me, and Rod's interment will be next Tuesday at Oak Grove Cemetery at 1 o'clock. I notified Cindy, and she is letting everyone know. We can all meet at the afterwards at the Holiday Inn if anyone wants for lunch or to gather, but not at my house. Me. Unfortunately, I cannot make that day. Next week is bill deadlines, and anything that doesn't get hearings will not pass this year. Some of the bills I have, should say worked on for 6+ months. Some include things like environmental protections and work for abused children. I would hate not to be there. But I'm also sure Dad wouldn't want me to abandon that important work.
And if you can, please just slow down a little bit. So that's okay.
I could get away from work the following week, and especially if it was March 29th, Sam and Liam could attend too. I'm sure he'd appreciate having his grandchildren there. Carol, I didn't get to make that choice, unfortunately. The funeral home decided it. I am so sorry you are so busy. I understand that is the job, but I can't change it. The only consolation I can think of is when you go to Moorhead for Easter, you can stop at the site and have a long conversation with him. I'm sure he is watching over you and the boys anyway. Hearts. Me? That's strange. I talked to the gentleman at the cemetery, and he said Good Friday was available for the internment. Carol, if that's true, how many other people who already set their schedules would not be able to make it? I am really sorry, Nicole. Me? You just told me about this today. We were already planning on coming the 29th. I find it disappointing it would be scheduled for a day that excluded Dad's only child and grandchildren, and I know he would be hurt we were excluded too. I guess I'm not sure who all these people are, whose schedules are more important than his child and grandchildren. Carol, I am so sorry. I am sorry, Nicole. You are not the only person with busy schedules. If you are really so concerned about being there for your father, you should be able to redo your own schedule. My heart is still breaking over the loss of the love of my life, and I do not appreciate your continued disdain of me. Me. It's true I'm not the only person with a busy schedule, but I am his only child. I do not have disdain for you. We have tried very hard to keep a relationship with you, but it is a two-way street. I can't imagine anyone cutting off someone's only child from something like this. He loved us too. And we're hurting and want to honor him too. This should have been something the two most important people in his life coordinated. Not planned at a time you knew I was unavailable. He'd be very hurt you're treating us like this. Carol, I am treating you like this. And the cemetery called me and said the 19th was available, and being that it was the anniversary of the day he passed, I thought that was good. I think Rod would be disappointed you were still treating me with the same disdain you always have. You've never grown past it. Rod and I talked about it many times through the years. He always apologized for it. And again, I would like to add, I did not choose that day. Donauer called and said the ground was thawed enough and and they would be putting the urn-in on the 19th. And he said we could have a little gathering if we liked. I was not making decisions without you. He was trying to help me in my grief. I'm very sorry of your grief of losing your father, but obviously you don't give a damn about mine. I am used to your disdain of me. Carole, I called the cemetery. They said you chose the day, and any day would have been available. You planned a ceremony without including his child or grandchildren. It's not unreasonable. I would be upset you excluded us. And Dad repeatedly apologized to me for your behavior too. I was 4 when you met me. I wanted a mother figure. You always treated me like an annoyance instead. I kept trying to act like the bigger person, especially when Sam was born, to make sure he had a relationship with both grandparents. You've even ignored him. You couldn't even send him a damn birthday card. So yes, Dad would be horrified. You've excluded us again and again. Her, OMG, it's amazing to see how different we see the past. But I suppose most people do this. Have you ever sent me a birthday card? We only have Rod for connection, and now he's gone. I guess there's nothing left. I love that wonderful man more than anything in the world. I would not let go of it, but I do not have to continue to live with your personal judgment. I will hold on to the love. What I can do is let you know when the gravestone is set up. I will mail you the bobber. You can set up your own viewing if you like and invite your relatives. My relatives and friends will be with me on the 19th.
We can unpublish, Your Honor. And did these text messages occur 1 month before the incident in question in this case?
Yes.
What was the main thing upsetting you from that text exchange and during that time?
There'd been so much stuff over the past year. I didn't want to upset her because she would get agitated and I felt like I just kept shoving down my emotions to not rock the boat. When she was giving away Dad's stuff without telling us so that we could even look at it. Times we would set up a visit, and there was one time I drove all the way up and forgot about it. And she didn't show up, and we were worried. And then when we finally tracked her down, because she thought it was lost again, she'd forgotten and just had gone somewhere else for the day. And I'd done a whole trip for no reason. Just constant stuff. And I kept trying to she was struggling, and I didn't say anything but that was the one thing that it was so hard because we loved him too, and the people that were coming were going to be, I could guess who it was going to be, and it was probably a couple other retirees who could have come any day. And it seemed like she wasn't going to change it because she was more concerned about a couple of her friends than us actually being able to be there. And I feel badly that some of my hurt clearly came out, because I usually just tried, like Nancy said yesterday, when she'd say hurtful things. I mean, there was still a lot of loving stuff, but more of that sort of stuff was leaking out. And that one time I was just so hurt that I kind of stood up for myself, but probably not in the best way.
How much contact did you have with Carole Mitchell after this fight about the interment until April 22nd, the night of the incident that is at issue here?
She texted me a couple times, like a couple days later. I never contacted her again. I was feeling so emotionally beat up by that point. And there was so much other stuff going on that I just couldn't keep doing it. And I needed a break.